Hello and welcome back to the ninth episode of our series Learning SketchUp. In this episode, we are going to learn some of the features that will help us in more efficient workflow. These features are hiding entities, tags, and outliners. Let's begin. Firstly, let's learn about hiding entities in SketchUp. Just go to the Edit in the toolbar. Almost halfway down, there is an option called Hide and Unhide Selected Objects. Let's make these entities into groups. Now there is another way to hide these objects. Just right-click on them and select Hide. Now to unhide them, just go to the Edit and under the Unhide, select Unhide Last. We have one more option under Unhide, which is Unhide All. First, hide this object, then this object, and let me make one more. And now hide this too. You see, with Unhide all the groups hidden in the file will unhide themselves. If something is hidden inside the group, the only way to unhide it is to enter that group. So I am going to group these two objects together and then make another group with this one. Now enter this group. Hide this object. Then enter this group and again enter another group and hide this face and come out of all. Now if I try to unhide all, nothing will happen. If I'll go in this group and now try to unhide, you can see it worked. Now for this, enter the group within the group and unhide. There is another way you can see your hidden objects without actually unhiding them. Suppose I am hiding this object. Now just go to the view in the toolbar and check Show Hidden Objects, and you'll see a wireframe view of object, which means this object is hidden. But sometimes you might forgot you have hidden some element or an entire object within group. Then it might become difficult to keep a track. So for this, basically to keep your record of your groups and components, tags and outliners really help. So let's see what tags are and how they work. You can assign any entity to a tag and toggle them on and off to hide them. They work like layers if you have worked in any other softwares like AutoCAD, Photoshop, etc. Now let's head towards the default tray and expand tags. By default, there is one tag called untagged. This can't be toggled off and will always remain on. Here are few objects. Let me group them individually. Now if we go to the entity info of this object, you can see this first option tag. Everything you make will be assigned to this untagged tag by default unless you change them. So you can make as many tags as you want. Click on plus sign here and name it. I am going to name it cube. Then in entity info, select the cube tag. Let me make few more tags. Let's name this prism. Make another one and name it cylinder. Now select objects and change their tags accordingly in entity info. You can also turn off and on any tag anytime. Just click on this eye icon here. Also, if you copy any object, all the properties will be copied along with the tags. We can tag groups, components as well as faces and categorize them so that they don't get into the way. You can categorize walls, furniture, trees, electrical fixtures individually. Now lastly, we are going to talk about the outliners. First, make sure outliners are enabled in your default tray. If not, then go to the windows in the toolbar, then go to the default tray and see at the bottom outliners is checked. The way outliner works is that it's a structure of every single group and component with a new model. Exploded entities will not be shown here. Now you can see in outliners we have some groups. When you select them, it will highlight the object on screen. When you group something in the outliner, they are just named group. Therefore, we need to rename these groups to avoid confusion. There are two ways to rename outliners. First, just select the object, then head to the entity info and name in this instance box. Like I'm going to name it cube1. Second, just select the group in outliner, click on the name and enter a name here. I'm going to name it cube2. That's how we label our entities. Also, tags and outliners work all along. For example, if we turn off this cube here, you can see the cube group in outliner are turned gray. If I select them, it will show me where they are but are still hidden. Now if I turn it on and go back to the outliner and turn them off here and select them, you'll see a wire mesh box. Let's name all the remaining groups in the outliner. Now let's start nesting some of these groups and just see what happened under outliner section in default tray. Group these cylinders together and rename them as cylinders. Also group these two and name them prisms. And lastly, group these two and name them cubes. Now you see how groups have subgroups and structure is starting to come along. I'm going to create more groups. Just click these two and name them polygon. And then finally group this along with this and name it shapes. Now you can see if we expand all these structures, everything is organized perfectly. We can select any and see which one it is. Now if I hide this object here and also this one and come out of the group and select unhide, nothing will happen. And now imagine you just forgot under which group you have hidden items. So for that, just check out outliner because the hidden entities will be shown in gray. And when we select them, it will show us where they are. Also, you can unhide it by clicking on this eye icon. This seems simple now, but when you are working in a complex model, it will be very helpful. Now let's see how a component will look under outliner. You can see the few differences component will have. Its name cannot be changed completely. It will have this less than and greater than symbol. And it will have these little 4 squares. Yet everything will be same. That's all for tags and outliners. For any doubt, just contact us on the given details. Thank you for watching this video, and now we'll see you in the next episode.